Ronwen Williams, hero for South Africa, as they went past Cape Verde 2-1 on penalty. Saved 4 kicks. Hopefully, he wants to save more as the South Africans chase another AFCON final. I'm sure they don't want to go through another penalty shootout. But all in all, it's been a very fun journey for South Africa. They've made it to the last 4. Guys, your thoughts on, talking about Nigeria, your thoughts on South Africa? They've gone through a very long route to get here, and they're in the last 4.
Yeah, quite surprising anyway. I think the factor that's helped them is the fact that they have players who have a lot of cohesion, play together for long in the PSL, in the Champions League. You watch their journey in the African Super League, African Football League, like they say. the same thing. And so they have that understanding. And now it's been tweaked a bit. The style they have been playing at Sundowns has been tweaked a bit, but the mentality is still there. If there's a style or a pattern which is quite coherent, consistent, you know, well, even though I'm playing like this, when I get the ball, I make good use of the ball, and the Sundown system is there, and then Hugo Bruce has insisted or instructed them to play in a certain pattern. So they are not keeping the ball too much, but when they have the ball, they make good effect or good use of the ball. That has been the difference for South Africa.
Are you surprised that they've had to play a large part of this competition almost on the counter and in transition?
Well, looking at the statistics, that is the strategy. Giving up possession as much as possible, and then hitting on the counter because they've got excellent players, wide players that can run into the channels. They only need a good ball delivered to them. You look at the goal Makoba scored. He's just in a channel, balls pass through, and he finishes. That's what they are relying on. But it's about getting the space and time on the ball and finding your player. I don't know if that route will be available against Nigeria, but then they need to explore playing that way. If you rely on the counter against a team that has 4 or 5 players back most of the time, it might not work out as you want it. So it's something that South Africa will need to consider. But probably their defensive wide players, which is their left back, right back, left midfielders, right wingers, they all have to play a role in this particular game against Nigeria, because if they don't support them, like we've seen against Cape Verde and what's not, it will hurt them, because you need to double up against the team that you'll be playing up against.
All right, the Nigerians and the South Africans face each other in what some people have described the Afrobeats versus Amapiano derby. Whatever that means, only people know, but yeah, it's fun. Anyway, so the South Africans are here. They've made an AFCON semi-final. 96, they were in the semis. They beat Ghana on that occasion. 98, they were there, and now they are back in the semis. Their journey, like we've seen, has been up and down. Ronwen Williams, like I said, guided them through that penalty shootout against Cape Verde, and they are here at the semi-final stage. We'll get to the touchpad in a second. Frimpong will be running us through some of the things really to note from either side, and maybe you can get to the touchpad and explain to us the strengths and weaknesses, how the two teams can potentially win the first semi-final of the AFCON, which will be played. I don't know whether that's the first or second.
It's the first one. South Africa, Nigeria first.
It's the first one. They left the host nation to play under the lights. I love it. I don't know whether it will go wrong or right, but I love it anyway. Let's get to the touchpad. Right. I don't know what you want to highlight for us today.
So we're going to have a look at certain elements of Nigeria's, the chances they've conceded, as well as the opportunities that will present South Africa. We'll look at the same thing for South Africa as well. All
right, so let's start off with the Nigerians.
So this is the first game against Equatorial Guinea. And already you can see one of the issues or one of the problems with Nigeria in this game, which was they had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in this space where ideally they should have their 2 holding midfielders, there's a bit of a challenge, because from the get-go, once Equatorial Guinea have this ball, there's one player here, which is the number 6.
Yes.
He's free. Nigeria, throughout the competition, we've seen that they have 5 men at the back, but the 2 in the middle are probably the most important for them because now they want to have sort of a box in the middle when they have the possession and when they are without possession. But then in this game, they conceded that goal purely because their number 4, Yusuf, over here, highlighted over here, and then Iwobi. Look at the distance. In a normal situation, you want your two holding midfielders to be occupying this position just so that they can prevent any cutbacks. But we'll find out that once the ball goes forward, again, it only takes you having 1, 2 men being beaten with a pass, and then it presents the perfect opportunity for the opponent. And that's done right here. It only needed a good pass on the edge of the box. And it was a very simple finish for him because keepers blocked, one. Schuster Kong is blocking his keeper's sight. So all he has to do is pass it into the net. But the key problem was because Nigeria did not have people in this position. If they had those 2 holding midfielders in the right position, that would have prevented the cutback, and probably the result would have been different.
Okay, so because of that, then they go and concede.
So that is something South Africa need to adopt. But we've also seen that South Africa haven't been a team to play cutbacks. They want to go direct and try and use set pieces and whatnot. So we'll move to the next chance, which was against Angola.
Aha.
There we go. Against Angola, the same thing we were talking about that South Africa did against Morocco, which was playing through the channels.
Okay.
Perfect example is what Angola did here. You can tell that the Nigerian line is set. They've got 5 set up beautifully. However, if you play a ball down the channel, down here, or here, you cause some trouble. And that's what they've done here, because once the player's on the ball, he has the option of playing it between those 2 defenders, Ajayi and Trustikong. And all you need is a good finisher at the end of it to finish the move. So you can see ball goes through, and really this should be a goal. Angola presented with the best opportunity to score here, and all they needed to do was finish this move. But sometimes you need experience and someone who's patient. And, well, we do see that the keeper did get a touch on it, but that was basically it.
Should he have taken another touch to take him further towards the goalkeeper?
He had the choice of, now that he's gotten on this position, you can go across your defender. It's either he's fouling you, a red card, you get a penalty with 50-50 chance or what's not, 25. you get a chance to score or miss. But he decided to go the route where, well, he's seen his colleague score something similar. Maybe it's a team joke. I can also do it. And ideally, he should have come across just here. Just take that extra touch. You're risking it, but then now you've set up like a penalty. You just have to pick a position, and the keeper has no choice but to make a choice. And, well,
he didn't take the chance.
He didn't take it, and we found out that was probably one of their best opportunities.
Yeah, the shock on the fans' face says it all.
Then we come to the next one, which was against Guinea-Bissau. Still.
Okay, you just run it on and.
Well,
okay.
I'm sure.
Clip.
Yes, against Guinea-Bissau. We were talking about the same thing, something that South Africa can explore. It's quite similar. When they have, 1, 2, 3, 4, ideally it should be 5 players at the back, but their right back isn't back yet. So it's 4 at the back now. The best thing for any club to do, or any team to do really, is you need to try and draw your players out, as well as take advantage of the fact that you have players coming in. We saw Nigeria conceded because of a cutback. And similarly, an opportunity came here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Guinea-Bissau players here. And all they need to do is make up their minds, are we going into the box directly? Or, well,
apologies there.
Or we're going to find a route to put the ball somewhere here.
Okay.
Because we saw what Equatorial Guinea did. Same here. They decide that, look, we can find a way to put it at the edge of the box. But the challenge I have with this is we've seen what Nigeria don't like, balls down the channel. Ideally, that ball, this player is an offside. You want to put it here just so that when he moves the ball, he moves into this position. Well, he'll move into this position.
Okay.
All he has to do is cut the ball across for this number 9 to just finish the move.
But of course, in this sequence,
he doesn't do that.
Well, he doesn't, but I'm just wondering, I'm just trying to think about the player in possession and maybe what he's also thinking, because I'm sure he must have seen his teammates and he's wondering, maybe he's offside. If I try that pass, the move goes dead. He gets flagged.
But it's a better risk going to create a 2v1 than you're shooting from outside the box. There's a cutback right there, no doubt. But then if you're shooting with, well, 1, 2, 3 Nigerian players in there, there's a high chance you're hitting a body or it's going into the path of the keeper. And you can see the keeper is well positioned over here. He can actually see. If he couldn't see, it's good you take a shot. But keeper has good eyesight of the ball and, well, he makes the save. But that's an indication for South Africa that, look, if I can try and create 2v1s to have simple balls into the box, I could cause some trouble for Nigeria. There is also the other chance that Guinea-Bissau also had, which was quite similar, but again, they were using the channels. What they did here is they made sure that this particular defender, they would isolate him. They've noticed that Nigeria always keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players at the back. The only way, if you want to break down 3 at the back or 5 at the back, is you try and bring one of the central defenders out of position, and then now you create a back 4 again. But you always have an extra player, which is the player they have here. He's free. So as he's drawn him out, this player just needs to run onto the ball. Either they're passing it to him, he can have a shot, or, again, they go through the channel. So as you've seen here, now he's through. Now he's through. All he has to do is finish the move. And, I mean, he did finish it. It was quite simple. Nigeria don't like you playing it down the channel. That is the key takeaway. And when you have a team playing 3 at the back as well, for a team like South Africa, we saw towards the end against Cape Verde where they put in crosses from deep. 2 crosses, consecutive crosses, and they almost scored from those. That is what they have to explore, because from deep, 3 defenders, one will say, oh, you handle it. Before you realize your player's at the end of it and you score.
I see.
We look at what South Africa can do.
So Nigeria are not totally indestructible. It's just
Not
that
at all.
Teams just haven't exploited the weaknesses well enough.
Exactly. And the other thing with Nigeria is because of that box, they have to, they talk about some coaches will let inverted defenders come.
Yeah, fullbacks.
What they are doing is they're playing something similar, but instead they're playing actual defensive midfielders in there. They don't go anywhere. And they have 3 at the back and 2 laterals. So the 2 laterals actually are the ones doing the pushing. And then Lukman and Simon, they are running off Osimhen. So you have 2 boxes that they can actually build up with. And it also protects them. There's also an added layer of protection for them. So that's why they look like you can't break them down, but if you can get them out of position, then you can hurt them.
Okay, I see.